Okay, I feel like we should start with this blue box abandoned crazy shit because I've like lost sleep over the last week.
That's how I was with PT.
Right.
Like
In
trying
the
to
beginning.
figure out, like, well, even afterwards, even when we lost it as a demo and we couldn't
We
access
lost
it
one of the good
anymore.
ones.
Yeah, and like you just go onto like different forums and stuff, and people are like
Mm.
sharing their theories. Because I still don't know. Like I cleared it twice, but I still don't know how I did that. So I need the answer. I
Yeah.
need to know. So
Nobody
I
knows.
get it. I get what it's like to go down this fucking
Rabbit hole
of
of craziness.
conspiracies. But this is wild.
This is wild. This is
Yeah.
so wild. So I think we should probably talk a bit about it for anyone who doesn't know.
Have you
Plus,
seen it, Eric?
Oh, I saw the one that you shared, Adam. Yeah.
Yeah.
but have you gone further down this rabbit hole?
No, I kind of was a little bit like I seen what happened to Alice. I'm fine going down this rabbit hole. I'm gonna take the blue pill and I will stay in Wonderland.
Okay. Because like it's nuts. It is nuts. Like so for anyone who doesn't know, I won't go through all of it because there's a lot, and there's plenty of people who have documented it or done videos on it, podcasts on it. So there's many people who have like gathered all the evidence and they do it in greater detail, and it's worth checking out. But just to give you a basic idea of what we're talking about, a while back there was this teaser for a game called Abandoned, which is coming to the PS5 by a studio called Blue Box Games Studios, right? They're new. They're like an indie studio. No one knows who they are or where they came from. They're based in the Netherlands, and they're the head of Blue Box Games is a guy called Hassan Karaman.
Right.
Okay, and Abandoned is supposed to be like this horror game, and they showed a little bit of this like footage in a forest. This did say it's not actual gameplay. They were pretty open about that. They had someone's
Yeah, there's actually a little bit of an update on that, isn't there?
Yeah, there is an update on that, which it makes it so much weirder. Basically, right? I've actually tried because, like, when I first checked this whole thing out. Sorry, before we get into it.
Right.
Basically, what people are saying, if you don't know, is people have theorized that this game, Abandoned, is not abandoned at all. It is actually Silent Hill or Silent Hills or a new Silent Hill game, and that Hassan Karaman is not a real person. It's actually Hideo Kojima who's behind all of this, and they've gone looking for the evidence, and they've compiled a lot of really, really interesting shit. Like, really interesting shit. And, like, it's so funny, because I'm not into conspiracy theories at all. And I'm one of the first, like, at all. And I usually am like, yeah, right, okay, nonsense. The thing about this one is...
There's a lot of coincidence, though, isn't there?
There's an awful lot. Some of them are reaching, and you're like, stop. But then some of them, you're like, okay, yeah, that's weird, and that's also weird, and that there is also weird. And if it was anyone else, if it was like, you know what, I have this theory that Blue Box Games is actually Cory Barlog, and that this is actually secretly God of War, right? Say it was that, you'd be like, nonsense. And even if they found all these like coincidences, you'd be like, that's nonsense. That's just not true.
Yeah.
Because it's Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, it's not out of character or anything.
It could be true. He does this shit.
Yeah.
And it's not even just like people go back to PT and they go back to Metal Gear Solid 5. Right? Eric, do you remember when Metal Gear Solid 5 was first being like revealed to people?
They did have a teaser of Metal Gear Solid 5, but then there was this other trailer for like, what was it, Moby Dick Studios, was it?
Yes.
Or something. And it was like and honestly, it looked so much cooler than Metal Gear Solid 5 when they first teased Metal Gear Solid 5.
Right.
And it was the guy going through the hospital and everyone getting shot and shit. And it was just the phantom pain. And people's like, there was letters, like parts of the letters at the top were missing, and then people fit Metal Gear Solid 5 into it. That's how they figured it out. I remember one of the theories for that was the symbol for Moby Dick was the whale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the way the fucking whale's like fin things at the end of his tail, they were like, look, this fits on top of Hideo Kojima's head as though it's his hairline. Like that says some people like. So Abandoned does have some of those theories.
It
So,
does, and then you go, no, that's just batshit. But then you go back to that and you go, but they were right that time.
yeah.
So, and the other thing is, right, so Moby Dick Studios had a director or a head of the studio whose name was Joachim Mogren. Right. And there was an interview between Jeff Keighley and Joachim Mogren, who was an actor, and it was more clear that he was an actor. Like, it was very obvious. He had the bandages on his face and all, and it was like, who the fuck is this? Come on, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And Joachim was an anagram for Kojima.
Right.
So that was all planned. This developer, Hassan Karaman, so people have said, first of all, HK is the same initials as Hideo Kojima. Right, that could be total coincidence.
Yeah.
Karaman, when translated from Turkish to Japanese, is Hideo. It's like, wait, okay, so that's weird too, right?
Yeah. That is
The whole
strange.
thing is weird. I keep trying to debunk it, and then they keep coming back with other shit where it's like, no, but have you seen this though? And I go, oh, okay. They've outsourced some of the work to a studio called Nuair. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Noir, I think it's
Noir,
pronounced as Noir,
right?
yeah.
Okay, and they've worked on like that's not unusual. They've worked on loads of games. They get outsourced to lots of AAA games. One of them is Death Stranding, but like they've worked on loads, so that's not.
Yeah,
like,
Last of Us Part 2, I think.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, Halo Infinite. Actually, they've been doing some work on that.
Yeah. But their Twitter recently, there's a lot happening on the Twitter on the side of this whole conspiracy thing. They recently, they used to have like loads of people they followed. They recently unfollowed loads. They've got like 10 people they're following now. One of them is Blue Box and one of them is Kojima. Like, it's fucking weird. It's just weird. All of it is weird. I don't know. What do you make of this? And there is more, by the way. There is more.
Oh, yeah,
in case people haven't looked it up. Like, this is batshit.
Honestly, for me,
It's
because I
mental.
think like some people were a bit like this could hurt if it wasn't Silent Hill, let's say, right? This Abandoned was just an indie horror game.
Mhm.
Some people say that would hurt the stocks for it, and I can understand why it would hurt the stocks for it.
Okay.
Because people will be looking for, they're like, oh my god, it's Silent Hill, it's Hideo Kojima, it's fucking this gonna be bad. And then if it turned out not to be, they'll be like, oh well, then they're gonna be disappointed because it's not that. But either way, I really am intrigued and excited for this game, even if it isn't Silent Hill. Just based
what
on
is it?
yeah, just what is it?
Well, it's built a myth around it now, hasn't it? Like,
yeah,
Yeah, it's odd.
yeah.
it's the weirdest thing.
I remember, like, cause I think it was what made me think maybe this was Silent Hill was during the trailer. You had the person walking through the really well detailed forest, and there was the monologue, and they were talking about the cult or the weird like religion thing.
Yeah.
And I was
yeah.
like, oh, well, that seems kind of Silent Hill-ish.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But like, no
But it
one
could
seemed
also be any horror game, right?
Yeah, it could be, but like with the amount of theories everyone has, I'm surprised no one brought it up. But people decided to more focus on what trespassers or something.
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
it?
a weird one. Yeah,
And
yeah.
they like,
Yeah.
oh look, it blocks out the P and the T. It's like, come on.
Yeah, that's
I think
yeah.
that was a bit.
That one to me is a reach. But did
Yeah.
you hear about the forest footage?
Okay. No. Maybe I don't think so.
It's been proven actually because they tweeted at like Hassan Karaman and he did confirm that forest footage is procedurally generated. You can buy it for $35. It is not something built by a game developer, which
No,
means
it's
it was just
It's part of Unreal Engine. I think it's like something you can buy. In
just
the
to
Unreal
put a
Engine
teser
store.
together.
Yeah.
Class, I'm gonna
So
buy
it's,
that.
it's likely that the game is not going to look anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, just it's so weird as well that like, and Jeff Keighley is interested in being involved in the reveal they keep talking about of whatever this fucking is. It's like, how many indie games get this kind of attention from these people? Why are Sony being so quiet about when this has now over the last 2 weeks blown up into this crazy conspiracy? Why aren't they like, guys, please stop? Like, like if it's not, I don't know. Like personally, I don't actually think it's Silent Hill,
Okay.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure.
I also think it's a bigger deal than a indie game. Like it's getting its own app as a reveal.
Yeah,
on the
there's a lot of.
PS5. What
It's
the
just
fuck
the
is
whole
that?
thing is just strange. It's like, because how many games get like we would see something about it. We would know something about it by now. Like they were supposed to reveal that app during the week, weren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was supposed to be revealed
25th, wasn't it?
last Monday
Yeah.
first, and it was
was it?
delayed then to the Friday,
And now it's delayed to August.
and now it's delayed to August.
That's just such a
It's a huge jump.
that's a huge jump.
Do you think there's a PlayStation event coming up in August, and that's where they're going to reveal it?
Maybe it could be that.
It's weird.
It could be that they're just so out of their depth that what they have to show would never live up to now the giant hype that's built around it, and feel that
Possible.
shit. We need to really work on this and make sure that we have a really great showcase, something that would be better than people's expectations, which is not going to happen. But that's the unfortunate thing, is that nothing that they show is going to live up to the expectations of what people think it is.
And if it isn't Silent Hill, right? Let's say it isn't. It was kind of slightly silly in all the kind of build up the conspiracy for them to tweet the
S and the
Well,
L
it
thing.
begins with S, begins with S, ends with L. Like that's like the title of the game or something, or that's within.
Yeah, and they said reveal closing in.
Yeah,
And it was like what? Didn't the tweet say something like abandoned is not the real name of our game?
Yeah.
I don't
First
know,
letter
actually.
S, last letter L.
Yeah.
You're like, I mean, you must have known what you're doing there to people, right? Like people already. That's not where the theory started. People already theorized that maybe it's actually Silent Hill for whatever reason from that forest footage. People already had like ideas.
Well, there was already rumors of a Silent Hill being in the works for
a while
in
now.
collaboration with Sony to some degree, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. And I suppose people expected that it's coming from Konami. Now, maybe Konami are like inspired by the way Kojima marketed and are trying to like do something like Kojima would do.
I don't think
in order
Konami
to-
are clever enough to do something like that.
But I mean, we don't like they could have taken on new talent. Like they're like who knows
I think
what they
likely
did in order to.
because the rumor is that Konami, there's a Metal Gear game and there's a Silent Hill game in the works with Sony, right? That's been in the rumor mill for a bit, and that
That Blue Point
Blue
is doing
Point
Metal
is
Gear,
doing
right?
is doing Metal Gear. So if I was Konami, and I had a deal with Sony, is that I'd imagine Sony would say like, look, let us take care of it. We'll take care of everything, the marketing, the development of it, the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically allow us to rent your IP and you get a good cut out of the profits of the game, right? So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to spend any money on the marketing. We'll take care of that. And Konami not doing anything, that the IP is just sitting there, I would be like, yeah, okay, here you go. You know it's going into good hands. Sony are really great with their kind of first party exclusives, I guess.
Yeah.
So in that situation, I could kind of see, because we saw with the Death Stranding trailer this Metal Gear vibe to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So my thinking is that if Kojima is involved at all, it's only in the marketing of these two franchises, but he's not involved in the making of them. But he's involved in the announcement of them. And that
Possibly.
this is likely a brand new studio by Sony called Blue Box, possibly.
Possibly.
Or at least an indie company. Because, I mean, it's not the first time that, well, I wouldn't call Ready at Dawn indie, but,
Yeah.
you know, they did make an exclusive. Their first ever console game was an exclusive for the PlayStation, which was The Order. So it wouldn't be
Yeah.
unusual for that to happen. But, yeah, it's... And No Man's Sky, Hello Games, another indie studio that Sony took under their wing for a timed exclusive in that regard. But it's just that everything else around it is just really suspicious. I don't really. Yeah, it's really hard to make what it could be. Like, it's not out of reach for this to be a Kojima move, but considering their history of making apps on the App Store, failed or not, or just that they've been up for a little bit. Like this guy is obviously a developer. I mean, his name is plastered over these things. There's no way they were planting a seed this long.
Yeah, back in 2015 or something when Blue Box started or something like that.
That is some elaborate marketing.
That's what I'm saying. But at the same time, you're like, would you put it past Kojima if it turned out it was him?
Not really. I mean, he's always been doing shit, isn't it? Like, I mean, MGS2 in itself was a weird marketing thing.
Yeah, I mean, he hid the fact that you're not playing a snake.
Yeah.
In all the marketing.
Yeah.
Like, he's been doing this the whole time. Or even, like, maybe it's a smaller scale, but, like, in Metal Gear Solid 1, the fight with Psycho Mantis, basically, there was no hints or anything, and you had to go theorize with your pals. Does anyone know how to beat Psycho Mantis?
Yeah.
And it was some crazy fourth wall breaking shit.
Yeah,
like,
which he managed
he's
to capture
always
again in PT.
Yeah, right? Oh man, this is so weird. Like, okay, do you think Hassan Karaman?
Right.
Poor fella.
Yeah.
Is he real?
Yeah. Well, he's obviously real.
Obviously, there's a person, but is that his actual name, and is he a developer? Is that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, his name is attached to some apps that were in the App Store,
right?
Even a few years back. So,
yeah.
Unless it's a very popular name. I don't know how.
I imagine it is actually. Right. I imagine it is a popular name in the same way as Hideo is a popular name in Japan. That's not an uncommon name.
Right.
So, and I don't think that Hassan is. I think Hassan is a very popular name, and well, obviously, I don't know about surnames. Karaman, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But like the name coincidence, it's because of all the other coincidences is what makes it so weird.
Yeah.
But the name coincidence, like, you know, there's lots of people's names mean those same things and stuff, so it's just strange.
Yeah, it's just too many things kind of line up that way, don't they?
it's so bizarre. Eric, do you think Hassan Karaman is a real guy, or is that just an actor?
It's so hard to say because it's Kojima.
We think.
I mean, well, like, yeah. I mean, yeah, like 2015, like that is. He's done marketing schemes, but this would be too long, if you know what I mean. Let's say if you are working with the idea that Hassan Karaman is actually just a guy, like an alias for Hideo Kojima or whoever, like it's too long of a one. Like 2015, he would have been working on what? He was working on Metal Gear Solid 5 at the time, wasn't he? 2015, give or take around that time. That's when.
Well, it would have been launched.
No, he was moving on.
PT.
He was working on Silent Hills at the time.
Yeah.
Right, he was working on Silent Hill. Oh my god!
Before it got cancelled, the project was abandoned.
Oh my god!
And then he went on to Death Stranding. Eric? Did you notice in the Death Stranding trailer the Netherlands flag on Sam Porter Bridges?
I did, but Adam did point it out to me.
What's that about?
Yeah, I don't know, but like even actually, well, now to go into some of the more silly theories,
right? Yeah.
which was like again in the Death, just still sticking with the Death Stranding trailer, was like he puts down the box and the box is very fun.
Oh yeah. You lose me there as well.
Yeah, I think everyone is just trying to get, like, similar to the Moby Dick logo matching Hideo's hair. It's just like everyone's just trying to get have like, oh look, I discovered something too, and we can all like theorize about it. And it's just like,
but it's also it's very Hideo Kojima to want to bring people together. I mean, that's one of the greatest things about Death Stranding is everyone coming together and working together to solve a problem,
or coming together to hate on the game.
Or coming together,
which is likely going to be the result of this if they don't say something.
I actually think that, like, I've heard a lot of people say, is like, they're like, if this is Silent Hill, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Right.
If it's not Silent Hill, I'm so along for the ride now to know what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
That whatever it's revealed to be, I have to check it out because I'm too curious. Because even if some of it is being pumped up by people, the way they are marketing this is still interesting, regardless of all the theories. The fact that they are going to make an app for the trailer, that what they've shown so far is not the game at all. The title is not the actual title at all.
Yep.
They've contacted Jeff Keighley, and we're hoping that he might help them announce it at a summer event. All of that for this game made by someone that nobody knows is interesting.
But like I think so. And I'm really excited to figure out what this is, and I think that is exciting. But I don't know if that excitement is going to result in
good
game sales. That's the thing. I don't know if they're going to get the result they were hoping for. And I think the majority of people, when it's coming up to this, are going to be probably hostile towards the developers. I know, like, I think, in the spaces that we would follow, right, I would consider them much more respectful gamers, that they're very aware of the amount of work that goes in, and are willing just to try any game anyway, right? It's not like necessarily that much of a waste of your time to try out a game.
No, of course not.
But just considering how hostile people tend to be, the wider internet towards something like Aloy's Face, or The Last of Us Part 2 having a whatever, or
I hear you.
Or like, even was it the brute Craig from Halo Infinite, whatever it may be, right? The people get even, like, remember I was saying to you today, Chris, about that buzz coil, that wine coil sound from the PS5. It makes a little bit of a buzzing sound.
Yeah.
I've seen people trash their PS5 because of that.
That's ridiculous.
Like, break it. Just out of frustration and anger, like. So I just think that people can really lose their shit when it comes to something as small as this, and if they're thinking it's something else and it's not that, then I think this could hurt the studios, which is probably, I think, is the reason behind the delay. Is, I'd say,
to set so they have time to set realistic expectations? Probably,
but also I imagine Sony's marketing team or HR are getting involved as well to make sure that this all goes smoothly, that this isn't another No Man's Sky. They don't want to repeat that again.
Yeah.
And the studio is tweeting, like, they're doing Q&A sessions on Twitter, like, they are answering people's questions, and they're saying, they repeat time and time again that there's no involvement. And as much as we've seen that type of...
Nobody believes them.
Yeah, no one believes them. It's like, oh, that's exactly what...
That's exactly what a paid actor would say.
Yeah. That's never happened before in the past with a Kojima game, right? You never saw Moby Dick Studios deny that they were working with Kojima.
No, they ended up... Well, actually, no, they did. They did, sorry. But then they revealed in an interview... it was pretty obvious anyway that the guy was a...
Well, that was during during the reveal, wasn't it?
No, leading up to it, they did an interview, and it was...
Yeah, and they played that interview again, like a week later, right? It wasn't that long. It was like a week later.
Oh, okay.
And the bit where Jeff Keighley says, "Isn't that the Fox engine?" And then they do the kind of alert sound, and then Kojima comes out on stage wearing the bandages and takes it off. And he reveals the anime. So there wasn't that much of a, leading up to it, there wasn't that much. And it was pretty obvious because the MGS5 trailers or gameplay was already shown. If the order was reversed, it probably would have been a much bigger surprise. But he isn't that good. I think the PT, I think, is as good as we're going to get out of, like, a real secret.
Because that dropped out of nowhere, though.
Yeah.
There was even fuck all of, like, a lead up to it.
Yeah.
This one seems... It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in, like, the gaming world. It's weird. The whole thing's weird.
Yeah.
And I can't actually wait to see what it actually is. Fuck it. Why don't we weigh in and say what we actually think it is, right?
Okay.
Now, and our minds might change in the next few months or whatever, but why don't we weigh in, like, can't be on the fucking fence about this. Do you think it's Kojima or not? What do you think it actually fucking is?
Like this,
as it stands
at the moment, like, this can go really in either direction.
Any direction.
Because the evidence on either side is not
Actually,
not clear.
it actually turns out to be Splinter Cell, because it begins with an S and ends in an L.
yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
People
That's
are
the
really
thing
waiting
too.
for
Like
that
where
game too.
people are saying, like, oh, if this was Kojima, it wouldn't be Unreal Engine, right? It would be possibly Decima, right?
Right.
But that latest thing is like, shows Unreal Engine. But yes, it would only show Unreal Engine because that's all that's being used in the trailer right now. But that's not going to be the game engine they're using necessarily.
Yeah.
Like they could be using the game engine, but we know the game's not going to look like that. So that little Unreal Engine logo could be a ruse.
You can actually, it's with what's stacked up there at the moment. You can debunk every counter argument, and it's fucking like on both sides, and it's like never any. And look at
because even I think the Hideo to Karaman translation you can still debunk a little bit because it's actually you have to translate.
You have to go to English first.
Yeah, you have to translate Hideo to English and then English to Turkish. But I haven't seen anyone do it the other way around. I haven't gone.
See, I went and did it myself because I was like, I'm not just going to take the information at face value. And like, for example, I went and followed Blue Box Game Studio and actually went through their tweets because I was like, again, I'm not taking
just
it.
Fucking pinning them up on your wall and shit. Just
fucking like that Charlie Day meme, absolutely. Losing sleep over it, being like, what the fuck? I need to know more.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I did. I started following them all. And I started like looking through Kojima's tweets to see could I pick up on anything.
Nah, there's nothing on inside.
I did one as a joke. The mist I thought was funny on the day of that the app was supposed to come out. That he just and you see on Instagram it didn't show the tweet. On Instagram it was just a picture of the book, The Mist. So there was no context. I was like, "What are you doing to me, Kojima?" And then of course you found the actual tweet where you talk more about it. But I think one of the weird things is the actually speaking of tweets, the time of the tweets.
Yeah, that's all.
It seems like a minor detail, but it is fucking odd. So Hassan Karaman is supposedly tweeting during the middle of the night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, when it's actually the afternoon over in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
That's
strange. Was it his Kojima Productions has a studio in the Netherlands? Do you not know that? You didn't know that one?
Oh my god! See, I was about to say what I think it is, and now I've changed my mind.
They do. They have and it's recent enough that they started that branch.
I mean, like, the shit writes itself. This is the most elaborate conspiracy theory I have ever seen. Flat Earthers, shut the fuck up and get on this Kojima train right now. This is fucking bonkers.
I do feel so sorry for the team, like, because they're just
like,
oh no, what are we doing?
Yeah. It's like, who the fuck sent out that tweet with the S and the L in it? Just like, you fuckers. Look what you've done.
Yeah,
but I believe you.
Going back to the time though, is it so weird for an indie game company making?
It's not really. It would be if there was a bigger studio. It would be because you would have, a
department
more. Yeah, you'd have more. Yeah, you'd have more people.
You'd have HR doing that. Like,
well, it wouldn't be HR, it'd be marketing, but it would have actual. You would not that game devs work on like a 9-to-5 role, but it probably the marketing team is a little bit stricter with their time. But if you're an indie dev company and he's taking care of the marketing by himself, he's spending all day managing his new company. So the only time he has to possibly do that is like 1 in the morning. So,
I know, but is there a point in hosting a Q&A on Twitter at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah. Why not?
You are like,
for people who can't sleep because they're pinning up all these jokes and
he's like, I know everyone's up all night.
Conspiracy theorists don't.
They're all. I've seen all their memes of Charlie Day. I know what's going on here.
Okay, Eric. So where do you weigh in on this?
I am weighing in on the. At the moment, it's not Silent Hill.
But is Kojima involved?
Oh, no, because I think he's too busy with the Death Stranding.
Do you think it's just a conspiracy, and it's all just coincidences?
All just coincidences, because I found that more of them were just like, now you're reaching more than they were. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Adam, where are you at with it?
Yeah, I don't think Kojima's involved. But not necessarily. I think it's more likely to be a Silent Hill than Kojima being involved, actually. But I don't think it's either. I think it is a new studio who just got way in over their head. Like, I think
okay.
I think it is supposed to be a new game. I think Sony possibly saw something in it, something worth funding or at least giving them something to help them on their way. But yeah, I don't think it's Hideo himself.
So here's where I'm at, and I honestly do not want to take away from the work of hard people, right?
Yeah.
Part of me hopes this is Kojima because it would just be the most fucking ridiculous, elaborate marketing thing ever. Like, it'd be just stupid and fucking awesome at the same time. But I don't think it is. I don't think it's Kojima, and I don't think it's Silent Hill. I do think it's just crazy, wild theories and conspiracies. I think it is a new studio genuinely working on a game, but I do think it's a big deal. I think it's possibly launching with something new that Sony are planning. This app thing has me thinking that they're actually, like, they made a partnership with this studio to be the first to launch something with some new thing that in the future will be used by other people.
Do you think it could be like along the lines of that that kind of share play style? Not share play. What's it called? Remember the Agenda app with the Agenda game?
No,
is that what's called? Agenda?
Yeah, Hidden Agenda.
Hidden
Chris,
Agenda.
you had it.
Sorry,
Hidden Agenda. Sorry. Yeah. No, yeah.
And that works with an app.
Yeah, when you don't put in that extra word, how are we ever supposed to know what you're saying?
I was trying to remember the name.
The word hidden was hidden, yes.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's how are you not getting it? I mean, you're able to make this connection as Hideo and you can't find the word hidden.
That's Hideo. That is actually where I'm coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, you think of something like that.
I think it's a new thing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of being overhyped for something like that, doesn't it?
Oh, but it's not them doing it, really, right?
Well, I mean, I suppose they're excited for their own game, and that would probably explain why PlayStation aren't like chiming in on it, because it's like,
well, everyone's talking about it, so cool.
Yeah, and it's not like something that people want to focus their energy on.
Yeah,
at this moment, like.
They like it really. If it's not Hideo Kojima, if it's not, they should really send out something just as. No, actually, no one will believe it.
No one's going to believe it.
That's the thing. No, like, Hassan Karaman has actually been on video saying, "Hi, I'm Hassan Karaman. I am not Hideo Kojima." They've done tweets saying, "Guys, we have nothing to do with Konami. We have nothing to do with Kojima," and all the responses are just, "You're lying. You're actors. This is not real." People are so deep in it now that even if Sony came out and said, "Guys, honestly, Blue Box Game Studio is a new studio to work on an indie game. We're very excited about the partnership," everyone's gonna go, "Sony, stop lying to us. You're in on it too. It's just Kojima,"
Yeah.
So
I'd say those conspiracy, like, they will follow Hassan to his grave, and they'll be at his burial going, "Why didn't you just tell us the truth, Hassan?" Like,
well, like, after years and years of him making games, becoming a huge game maker, and they'll be like, "You're still an actor.
Yeah, you're still.
Jesus Christ.
You're still. Where's Silent Hill, Hassan?"
See, he actually whatever about the theories and all. Actually, the last video that he put out where he talked about that they had to delay the game to August, or at least the reveal of the game to August, I was like, I don't care what anyone says. That seems really genuine. That seems like a guy who's fucking wrecked. He's really tired
he did look wrecked though, didn't he?
He looked like. He was like, I already know I'm going to get bombarded with fucking tweets that, like, you're telling me I'm someone else and that I'm not working on the game that I'm actually working on. Like, that's what it looked like to me. So I don't know. I'm going to go with him on it.
He's an actor. That was all makeup and everything. He's like, sure, like Chris Hemsworth is there in a spaceship fucking crying about his fake mom and dad dying in Infinity War. Like, see, it's all lies, man.
Yeah, do you not know how acting works? Jeez.
Yeah,
he's just convincing, okay?
Yeah, just everything around it though is so sus.
It's bizarre. So look, guys, let us know where you fall on this conspiracy theory. That's where we stand at the moment. Anything can happen between now and August. We could easily be swayed if something crazy comes out and you're like, oh, here now, fuck, I can't ignore that. But very excited to see what this ends up being. and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it as it further progresses. I'm sure people will find more shit and take it down a deeper road. But if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you jump down in the comments, letting us know where you stand on the conspiracy so far, and maybe if you want to point out any evidence that we haven't seen yet, or that you'd like to highlight further, if you fall anywhere on this like side of the debate. And then if you're listening to audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take again, and let us know where you fall on this whole Kojima Blue Box abandoned conspiracy.